All right, kids, it's been 1 week since President Donald Trump, Melania, the First Lady, and members of the current administration and cabinet were rushed out of the Washington Hilton ballroom during the White House Correspondents' Dinner as security agents sprung into action to stop a would-be assassin. Cole Thomas Allen has been arrested in connection with the incident. Police said that the suspect was armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives, which was corroborated by a selfie that Allen took to snitch on himself like rappers do. A Secret Service agent who was wearing a vest and is okay was shot, possibly by Allen or another agent. Now, Allen didn't really get near the commander-in-chief and was on the wrong floor, I think, but it should hit close to home for all of us. News from this past weekend serves as a reminder to put things in perspective.
Two things. The correspondence dinner?
Yeah.
So, apparently there was a shooting.
Oh, shit. Did anybody die? Or?
No. Like, they got the guy before, like, he could enter the room.
Okay.
And one last thing. The pop singer, what is it, Megan?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, she got cheated on.
The Stallion? Wait, what the
None of us are safe. When I say that, I mean, if Megan Thee Stallion can get cheated on, then there's no hope for anybody else. When the right says it, they mean if they can't do what they want to the East Wing of the White House, they're in danger. Ballroom Republicans. Today we're going to talk about trust. The term stage was featured in 300,000 plus posts on X by the day after the Correspondents' Dinner, according to TweetBinder. Then the words false flag and fake were tossed around. Faux was haphazardly being placed in front of words by those who butcher the French language. Les incompetents. Fact checks don't move fast enough, and we have no faith in mainstream media. That is, the most watched cable news network. For example, during a live broadcast, Fox News reporter Aisha Hasney relayed a conversation she had with White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt's husband at the dinner.
Right as the dinner was starting, the national anthem happened, and then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV, you did a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some...
Sounds like we lost Aisha's phone there.
Did they cut her off right before she was about to tell the truth? Conspiracy theories are spreading like memes about Klay Thompson looking like the PBS logo. From viewers like you. Thank you. Meanwhile, those who consider themselves to be straight shooters, tell it like it is, don't hold their tongues, are claiming that leftists are sowing violence against the president by calling him a fascist, a pedo, and a rapist. Well, a judge and jury can attest to one of those. Donald J. Trump admitted to another, and he said that Biden is running a Gestapo administration. So I guess we have to pretend like he wasn't sowing violence. And Trump's not that good of an actor. In Home Alone 2, did you believe that he wasn't in crippling debt at that time? Yet, I'm just going to put it out there as a leftist progressive. I don't think his most recent assassination attempt was planned and executed. Ooh. Poor choice of words in retrospect. Right?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Caroline Leavitt should be taken off the air. Am I doing it right? With that said, let's focus on how the communication arm of the grand old party controls narrative. The one that was started by someone whose plan for putting the GOP on TV news was because they suggested that people are lazy. With television, you just sit, watch, listen. The thinking is done for you. It's obvious when they use Ben Shapiro, and he uses them. He can get away with pretending like he's not biased and nonpartisan, or like there's a call someone Hitler to purge the press pipeline. And by the way, I personally lean heavily against grown men who bust into teenager dressing rooms. What does Ben call a guy who would do that? Anyways, as you're about to see, Fox News' messaging and method involve interviewing less known political operatives, paid actors perhaps, and passing them off as concerned parents or something. They opportunistically find people that can be props or strategically place them where they need to be. And this is happening even in your own backyard.
What's happening, man? What's your name?
My name is Jake.
Tell me about the event last night, what you make of it. Right now, it's a head-to-head race in Ohio. Do you think he can win?
Absolutely. No, Vivek is able to instill so much passion and desire in a lot of people across the state, and he is the right man for the job.
All right. Thanks so much, man.
Mother... That took place in Columbus, my hometown. Lawrence Jones acted like the man who said absolutely no was a random person in a diner. That dude's name is Jake Poling, and he works for Turning Point USA. Fox News didn't mention who he was for some reason. TPUSA was holding its national campus tour and stopped at The Ohio State University, my alma mater, to hold space for gubernatorial candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. On April 22nd, they chilled at TJ's Country Place. If you didn't know, that restaurant is as close as they could get in a blue city to the Confederate feel of a Cracker Barrel, with little chance of getting beat down by the staff in a Waffle House, sitting with people who just so happen to be wearing Charlie Kirk Freedom shirts and 47 hats. Convenient. Unless Fox is providing merch, I highly doubt they will randomly see another person in those shirts in public again.
We have been in line since 5:30 this morning. We drove up to Atlanta from South Georgia. We left about 3 o'clock this morning. Congress needs to get to work, get it done. The American people don't deserve this. TSA needs to get paid. This is ridiculous.
Oh, and I agree. Congress does need to get to work. Did she say get her done? Wow. Hey, who's at fault for the TSA not getting paid? And is it just me, or was that camera focused on the woman in blue who was either laughing with or at this woman who has an aggressively country accent? I'm not paying a subscription to Fox 1 to find out, as I'm showing those who aren't visually impaired or are choosing to listen to me while driving or doing chores. This lady is also wearing a Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt. Ugh.
Of course, this is all happening because, as you just mentioned, TSA workers, they're getting $0 paychecks right now. And that's part of the reason why that ICE agents are now here helping them out, trying to make these lines shorter. What do you think about that?
I'm glad to see them here.
At the time she was approached for an interview, not because of what she had on. No, she had been in line for 2.5 hours. So did ICE do anything about her wait time? And are we going to see this lady with an Alabama Birmingham bob again? The precedent has been set.
Nice to meet you. I have your DoorDash order for you.
That's very nice. Look at this. This doesn't look staged, does it?
Yes. Moving on.
Are the White House good tippers? Do you know?
Wait.
Potentially. Yes, very.
Mr. President, can I ask you something?
That's good. Thank you. You reminded me.
Mr. President.
Paid. See? Does that count? Money does. Sharon Simmons deserves it. She is a Trump voter and supporter who was willing to be a part of a photo op. But media trained, she is not.
They want to have men playing in women's sport. Do you think that men should play in women's sports?
I really don't have an opinion on that.
You don't. I'll bet you do.
No, I'm here about no
Pizza.
tax on tips.
Yeah. Okay.
In delivering the first ever DoorDash order to the Oval Office, Simmons is promoting Trump's non-tax on tips legislation, which they say has saved her $11,000 in taxes this year, as her husband goes through cancer treatment. So a grandmother who should be retired and spending time with her family is fortunate enough to get gig work in her time of need. Sure. But she's thanking the guy who gutted healthcare and would rather use taxpayer money to fund a war instead. How much did it cost her in gas money to bring him McDonald's? I don't think I would blame her for saying what's necessary to get that money from this administration. It's easy to scam MAGA. Gotta get to that ballroom somehow. And notice that I didn't say she wasn't an operative. She knows what she's doing. She's got experience.
And freeing up this extra money means quite a bit to my family.
And Ms. Simmons, do you consider yourself to be wealthy or well-connected?
Not at all.
Oh, she's well connected now. And don't get me wrong, there are examples of operative props who can push people to the polls and influence policy, not just small stuff. In 2021, Media Matters produced a review of Fox still passing off GOP activists as concerned parents. Earlier that year, the liberal media watchdog detailed how nearly a dozen guests billed as panicked parents praying that critical race theory wasn't being taught to their young children in school were also Republican strategists, conservative think tankers, or right-wing media personalities. Now I'm wondering if they even had kids in that school district.
Gosh, do you think you should call the Department of Justice and the FBI on those parents?
Correct. Bring them out. For instance, Fox is America's newsroom platform professional Republican operatives, 3 people they described only as Fairfax County parent. Fox then aired 3 clips of interviews with these individuals that the lower thirds graphics referred to as Virginia parents push back against school board and more backlash against DOJ targeting parents, flashing on and off. Neither the host or the guest mentioned that Elizabeth Schultz was the Trump Education Department official. Suparna Dutta chaired Educators for Youngkin. He later became governor of Virginia. And Harry Jackson is the founder of an organization that was suing the Fairfax School District and was the subject of a positive profile by conservative Wall Street Journal columnist William McGurn the week that this Media Matters report dropped. Again, this was back when the GOP brought up critical race theory any chance they got, yet had no idea of what it is. Governor Youngkin introduced a CRT tip line for his constituents to snitch, but got rid of it when no one used it. Good thing that whole CRT, oppressed and oppressors, 1619 Project era is over. And there isn't a major political figure that I alluded to earlier bringing this stuff back up for cheap points that I'll be getting back to later. None of this is exclusive to Republicans, ballroom or otherwise. Democrats are guilty of bringing out activists under the guise of them being everyday people. CNN and MSNBA Young Liberal know the playbook and have go-to moves. And it's not like the right respects when the center left is attacked or assaulted, no matter how big or small. They accuse Democrats of planting false flags too. Remember this?
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
When 55-year-old Anthony Kazmierczyk, a piece of shit who is a right-wing extremist like his mama, according to his own brother, sprayed Representative Ilhan Omar with what turned out to be apple cider vinegar in January of 2026, you better believe conservatives said it was staged, against their better judgment.
When Ilhan Omar was sprayed at a recent event with an unknown substance, you said this. Let's take a look.
The bottom line is that I'm looking at this impartially. I don't know what anybody said. I saw the video, and it does not look consistent with someone trying to assault another person, which means I have never in my life seen a person get up, spray something out of syringe at someone's chest. It happened to be nothing, inert. And then she comes after him. You didn't see her back away from him. You didn't see her shy away from him. You didn't see any of that
Brandon,
nature.
You would
and
say,
the guy didn't even resist.
Officer Tatum got disused by Pierce Morgan, of all people. And Pierce will go on to say that had what happened to Omar been a Republican, Tatum would have said the complete opposite. And Pierce is right. This would have looked consistent with someone trying to assault another person. And if I can put that on there, if a Democrat, such as Omar, would have shrank or backed down in that situation, instead of stepping to him like she did, Tatum would have called them weak. He isn't giving a Somali-American woman credit for being ready to fight. Officer Tatum shouldn't be taken seriously.
So that debate we had then, Brandon, I do think...
Hang on. Officer down.
Hang on.
Before I continue, Ilhan Omar would much rather take on someone with the real Trump derangement syndrome than have to deal with this the rest of her career.
The last time the Alien Enemies Act was invoked, it was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI.
Before I roll the credits, all Fox has to do next week is interview concerned DC travelers and tourists who just so happen to have recently been a high-ranking official that got laid off by the Daily Wire, or have them as guests, or don't bring up what they do or did for a living, moderate a debate with them in order to own a lib, all the while claiming that this is why they need a ballroom, or Jimmy Kimmel should be fired, or lie about Barack Obama never having assassination attempts on his life. At this point, it's like the score of a movie. If it means making it seem like calling the president what he is more of a problem than what he is, in this case, a pedophile, rapist, and traitor, who a gunman said he is no longer willing to permit to coat his hands with Donald Trump's crimes, then the propaganda machine will do that. In addition to having influencers sing certain notes, plus inspiring a voting bloc to come in on the chorus. Absolute cinema. And y'all, Vivek Ramaswamy stopped by TJ's for a brief interview after playing the hits.
They taught us that our identity is based on race, gender, sexuality, the native, inherently inherited, genetically immutable characteristics that we're born with. If you're a member of one race or gender, you're an oppressor. If you're a member of a different race or gender, you are oppressed. There's a hierarchy of intersectionality in America. That's what they taught us, based on your genetic identity. Now, according to this worldview, America's history traces not back to 1776, but to 1619.
He is saying this in the year of our Lord, 2026. I encourage you to, whenever possible, look up who Fox News is talking to, like Juliet Jeske of Decoding Fox News. That is, if you watch that network at all. And remember that this network was made by Roger Ailes, who thought his audience would be stupid. Remind the people who believe that the Republican Party is the same as it was when it was led by Lincoln. The way something starts is the way it always is, or whatever. Aisha Hasney later clarified, our calls were dropping because there is barely any service in that ballroom. Nicholas Riccio was expressing his concern for my safety. I was going to say, before I lost my signal, that it was unfortunate that only a short time later, this all happened. Cole Thomas Allen has been arraigned and charged with using a firearm during a violent crime and assaulting a federal officer with a dangerous weapon. There's not only video of him charging the stop point that Secret Service agents and law enforcement officers were taking down when he ran through metal detectors, but there's footage of him casing the hotel the night before. You know what? In the back of my mind, I wished I could have been at that TJ's when Lawrence Jones was there. But for what? Opposition over Granny's famous country specials? Nah. In 2018, Zach Pecanis, a prominent Democratic strategist, said that he would no longer appear as a guest on Fox. He told The Hollywood Reporter, for most of the time I was on Fox, I believed it was really important that Fox's audience hear a different point of view, that the garbage that they spew gets challenged on the regular. I think I was successful in challenging it a number of times, but ultimately, participating in an illegitimate debate does more harm than good. Maybe that's the move, but here's the thing about that. Former Fox News anchor Gretchen Carlson offered a damning assessment of the network as she explained just how bad its spread of conspiracy theories and misinformation has become. There's a big difference between having a conservative opinion and having one that supports conspiracy theories. And that's the other problem that we have in society with the media right now, is that we're so siloed into only watching what we agree with. And so every day, that thought process just gets reinforced time after time. I don't want to make it seem that when it comes to Fox News, you can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them, like Klay Thompson. Years ago, though, who does he think he is now? Would gladly take the stallion out to TJ's. Not something fancy like the correspondents dinner. She's been through enough. We're gonna be all right.